So if you think you might like a fat bird of your own, I've got a three-step plan.
Three-step.
So follow it, man, when you get that fat bird home. Step 1, get a bag. Fill it with glue. Step 2, sniff till your face turns blue. Step 3, sit back, enjoy the ride, and let the yoo-hoo do what it do to your mind. But just make sure you throw away the bag when you are done. Because if you have my luck, you wake up stuck to your girlfriend's big fat bum. Welcome to Is It?
What was that?
The Rubber Bandits.
Damn.
Yeah, 2011. Blind Boy Boat Club. He's now a bit of a... He's a podcaster now. Mm-hmm. And he's a bit of a... I don't know how you'd... yeah, he does all sorts of kind of rant. You'd really like it. They're from... I think it's Limerick, sort of island somewhere.
Okay.
And
Likes a rant.
they wear the plastic bags on their head with the eyes cut out and stuff, so that they have this on an anonymity.
I often think we should have done that.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff we say.
Well, you should have. It's not because of what you say. But yeah, Blind Boy Boat Club. And he now sort of tours the world with his laptop and a sort of little setup. And he does these rambling podcasts about all sorts of cultural and interesting and wonderful things. I'd recommend the big hit they did was Horse Outside. Fuck your Mitsubishi, I have a horse outside. Fuck your Subaru, I have a horse outside. Yeah, I must have played this to you. It was huge.
I don't think you have.
No?
No.
Well, there you go. You know it now. Go and have a look.
Wow.
Rubber Bandits. The album was called Serious About Men. Just 2 of them. They made loads of videos. They were really, really, really good. So
I will check that out.
and we will be making a playlist. In fact, I'm going to do it this over the course of this week.
We have been talking about it, haven't we?
Yeah, we'll make a playlist of all of these songs on it so that you can never ever listen to any of them ever again by choice.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
People will start suggesting things next.
Yeah, well...
You know how well that works out for plugins.
Yeah.
Every time someone suggests a plugin review, we do it. No one watches.
Well, yeah, just trying. I mean, that came up on a sort of playlist. Not a playlist, just I was, been bumbling around with my AirPods in, and that came on. And it samples Kool and the Gang. What's the one that everybody samples? I can't remember. I'll have a look.
He's off.
I did look it up. Yeah, Kool and the Gang, Hollywood Swinging.
Ah,
Yeah, really.
Who else has sampled that?
Hey, I knew you'd ask that. You don't make me look again. Okay, so anyway, what are we looking at today?
Today, Dan.
Yeah.
We are looking at a bit of an exclusive, something from Kiive in coordination with Audioscape. Kiive. In coordination with Audioscape. Audioscape make really good studio hardware, kind of clones, I guess. They make versions of famous studio hardware. They do a very good job of it. It's not like a cheap knockoff. It's a very, very faithful representation in a hardware form. So...
Not like our cheap knockoffs of plugin reviews, then.
No, not like that at all. Much better. So Audioscape make a version of Kiive 33609, and Kiive have modelled that, and that is the Kiive/Audioscape MK609.
Milton Keynes 609.
Yeah.
It's the 509, I think, isn't it, in Milton Keynes? A509, is it?
But I don't know. Don't go to Milton Keynes very often.
No.
I try and go around it if I possibly can.
Yeah. straight and then around, and then straight
left,
and then around.
Right, yeah, all that grid system.
Yeah, that's it. It's a new town, like Stevenage.
Yeah, see, I grew up in Stevenage.
I know, that's why.
Yeah. Stevenage and Milton Keynes are not similar.
No.
Well, I know. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They might, yeah.
Less said about that, the better.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, moving on to this very high-end plugin. That,
Yes. Yeah. So, it's the Kiive 33609. This is what this is based on, although it's actually a model of the clone by Audioscape. 336. I know, it's complicated. 33609s, it's their diode bridge design compressors with a limiter. And the Kiive has always been... I don't know. I would say slightly. It trailed behind the SSL bus compressor, I think, in that most people would use the SSL bus compressor on pop and rock and stuff, and then some people would use the 609. And I think since plugins have come about, because there's not loads of them in the real world, I think they've become a lot more in demand.
Yeah.
I've started seeing more of the hardware recently because people are discovering it in a software form first. It's a slightly different sound. It does a similar thing. It's like a glue compressor. Obviously, it has a slightly different way of working than the SSL bus compressor in that there's a limiter. And I think it confuses lots of people because the limiter is the bit you see first, followed by the compressor. But that's just Neve being weird. It's actually after. Even though it's physically before, it's compressor, then limiter. But I've often found the best way to set these up is to bypass the compressor, set your limiter up, then put the compressor back in, set that up, and then tweak the limiter.
Why is
after.
that? Surely you'd want to get your compression going and then just brickwall it. Or...
Because I want to see what the limiter's doing on the meters before I start feeding a compressed signal into it, and then I want to tweak it after that.
Right.
Otherwise, I don't. It's really hard to tell sometimes if you compress something so that you're, getting -4 or whatever.
Yeah.
You then stick the limiter on. Where do you want to go with that? I kind of want to know how much I'm limiting before I start. But anyway, let's go through the controls. On the limiter, we have, just a regular threshold and a recovery time. That's it. And then it's on or off. You've got fast attack, slow attack, or super fast attack. Just depends what you're putting through it. If I'm putting it on a drum bus, I want a slow attack. If I'm putting it in a, stereo bus mastering kind of situation, then I'd experiment. I would guess not the super fast, but possibly.
So what's super? Is that any kind of look ahead? Or
no,
it's just like immediate.
Yeah, it's just like very, very, very quick. Yeah. Onto the compressor, similar controls. You've got threshold, you've got your recovery, which is, how quick it stops compressing. You've got your gain and you've got your ratio. There's a couple of extra little things. Obviously, you've got your attacks. Again, you can set between 3 different modes. You've got a sidechain high pass filter little switch there. You can turn it on, you can turn it off. There's a switch there that switches between stereo and quad. Now, I couldn't find out on the plugin what the hell that does, but on the hardware, what that used to do was that it enabled you to compress quad recordings, which meant if you had 2 of these, you could link them so that you could mix in quad, because these came out in those days.
I didn't realise anybody...
Do you remember quad mixing?
Well, I remember quadraphonic headphones and the like.
So quad... That's the reason there's a front and a back bus on old SSLs and things.
Really?
There was 2 stereo buses, one for the front speakers, one for the back speakers. Yeah. It's a bit like Atmos, but in the 70s.
This is the only other time I remember that was, do you remember the O3D, Yamaha O3D?
Yeah, of course.
That used to have a quad thing, and you could actually use the jog wheel to spin the output around around 4 physical outputs.
I don't know why they did it in those days, but it
was spent ages playing with it.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I mean, people experimented with quad for a while. It was one of those things. It kind of, people started mixing in quad. There was a few releases in quad, and then everyone just went no, not having that. And then what that second bus gets used for now is like a parallel bus quite often on those old desks. But yeah, why they put it on this, I don't know.
I remember my next door neighbours had a set of quadraphonic headphones, and I remember they played me Deep Purple in rock on a record player. I would have been about 10 or 12.
Wow.
But then, looking back now, they're playing a stereo record through quadraphonic headphones.
I mean, I don't really get quadraphonic headphones. How the hell did they work?
I don't know. One would assume there'd be 2 speakers in each headphone.
But they're both right next to your ear holes, so how are you going to get... I don't know. Yeah. It's no more stupid than Atmos.
One for the comments. Yeah, you're not an Atmos fan, are you?
Atmos can do one. What a ridiculous concept that will die out. I don't care how much money you've invested in it or how much you want it to work, it's going to die. One day.
Haven't you got a release going at the moment where you've had to commission...
I'm spending hours and hours and hours exporting all the stems from the mixes I've done to send to a guy in the States to do all the Atmos mixes. I did a bunch yesterday. It's just a waste of time as far as I'm concerned. But we have to do it because Apple will only let you release stuff if you make it available in Atmos.
Well, if Apple say, must be true.
Oh yeah, they never get things wrong, do they? With their one-button mouse. Or this mouse, which I still use, where the charging port is on the bottom. The most ridiculous idea ever. When this runs out of batteries, it has to lie on its back for a couple of hours to recharge. I had to buy a second one to use while this one recharges. Apple. Honestly, moments of genius and moments of utter buffoonery. Can't stand that I'm tied into the whole thing.
No. No.
Anyway.
You resisted for a long time, though, didn't you?
I was the last person.
You were Android
I'm only on my second iPhone.
Are you?
Yeah.
iPhone 2.
I was Android for years. I mean,
Yeah,
I only
you
got
were.
a Mac because Logic moved to Mac only.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would be firmly in the PC world. But
There you go.
anyway, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Sorry.
back to the Kiive Audioscape MK609. I think the interesting thing about the timing of this coming out is that right now, Behringer released earlier this year a hardware clone of one of these.
Yep.
And
How much is that?
you can, well, if you can get one, they all sold out immediately.
Yeah.
Because they were 420 quid.
You're crying out loud.
I know.
Shut the front door.
I tried to get one. I just thought I've got to try it.
Yeah.
But they've been sold out. I think they all come back in stock in about a month, so they'll
Isn't
be
it
back.
weird how Behringer, you know, everybody slags them off, but they do all this amazing. They bought all these companies, haven't they?
Yeah,
They
yeah.
do all this amazing stuff. Reissued all these keyboards. And,
They do some
you know.
clever stuff. Yeah. Again, like Apple, moments of genius, loads of shit in between.
Yeah.
But apparently the Behringer one, the only issues with it are, sounds great apparently, but apparently the controls for the threshold and ratio and stuff like that, they're so stiff that they're breaking.
Oh, right.
Anyway, it's 420 quid. A Neve one, a real one, it's about 2.5 grand. Heritage Audio make a clone, which is about 1,500 quid. So you would think a good plug-in that sounds very, very, very much like one
Yep.
is probably something that's going to do all right.
Yep.
We reviewed one by Arturia a while back now, and I was really impressed. I thought it sounded phenomenal.
Yep.
So yeah, good timing for this to come
Very
out.
good. Very good. So, Kiive, from the website.
I presume so. Once it's out,
Once it's out.
just go to the website. Yeah.
And 14-day demo.
14-day demo. Yes.
And if we like said demo,
Okay. Well, the full price is $149, but the sale price on release is $89, which I think is a bit cheaper than the Arturia one.
I think the general. I don't know whether it's the plugins we're reviewing, but there does seem to be a bit of a hike in prices, I think, over the course of the last 6 months for these sort of channel-y, compressor-y sort of plugins.
You ain't seen nothing yet. We're doing one later.
Oh, great.
You are going to lose your shit when I tell you how much it is.
No, I won't. I'm beyond it. I'm
I'm
beyond
it. I don't think you are.
Oh, really?
This one will literally make you saw yourself.
It better make noise. That was always the deal, wasn't it, if you remember?
Doesn't make any noise. Anyway, back to this one.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
Sean of St. Vincent Shire.
All right, Alan. Having a nice hot bath, Alan.
Yeah. Is the Kiive MK609
Yes.
shit?
It really isn't. It's one of those rare plugins where it's got something about it. It sounds incredibly analog. It was really quite frustrating. I've got a very I've got a stereo bus which I'm very pleased with, and I use a lot. And I've dropped this in and muted everything else. Flipping hell.
Wow.
It's really good.
That is a credit.
It's really good. Yeah, I love it. It sounds very, very, very much like a 33609. I think the THD control there is pretty magic because you can. I always thought they were quite subtle and they were very clean. And when I was involved a little bit in recording orchestras, engineers used to like this on the bus because it could be quite tame.
Yeah.
It wasn't, the SSL could be a bit more sort of obvious. That gives you the opportunity to really give it some, put it on a drum bus, turn up the THD, and it starts to really come
Get a bit of
alive.
crunch.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, so another perler from Kiive then.
Yeah, they're on a roll, man.
Yeah.
They're having a really good year. They're smashing them out.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so before you go and try that, please like the video.
That'd be good if you could do that. If you could subscribe to the channel, that helps, or maybe become a channel member.
Check out the list, now ever-growing list of links that we've got, including
Ah, yes.
our top 5.
Top 5 plugin list. It's living down there now on every video, and there are links we can go and check them out, buy them if you want. There's a bit of an affiliate thing if you want to help us out, but you don't have to. You can just go and buy them anywhere you like.
Along with the Patreon and the Studiogram, Instagram, Studio Life 101, Dr. Vincent's courses and mastering services. So until we see you next time, sayonara, suckers.
Adios.